Isn't it crazy, guys, that it's been around 2 whole years ever since Gina Carano got fired back in February to March of 2021 by Kathleen Kennedy in the most improper way possible, through ways of social media, on Twitter, for example, and other aspects out there, that really was very unprofessional. Even a lot of other Hollywood executives not associated with Lucasfilm really thought it was a very low thing to do on their front. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that there have been a lot of different developments happening with Gina Carano's involvement in upcoming Star Wars stories, and as well as her getting rehired for new and upcoming Star Wars shows provided by John, George, and Dave, as well as a lot of other Disney executives getting involved. There's a lot more on top of this that's even all the more exciting that has been getting updated every single week, and as Disney is really trying to create a big turnaround for Star Wars, they are getting very desperate as well to satisfy all fans around the globe. Now that brings us to the latest development about Gina Carano and her involvement in the upcoming Star Wars franchise, or the new, of course, Star Wars TV shows, and all the like. Now, with that being put out there and said, we already know that Gina Carano has been a very touchy subject for a lot of fans. We know that her firing and her, of course, plan to be rehired is something that really divides the fan base. It does. You know, certain people love her, certain people hate her, and then you have other fans that kind of just don't care about the whole scenario. So it is a very, divisive situation that was actually caused by Kathleen Kennedy 2 whole years ago. However, on top of this, with actress Gina Carano likely to make a comeback now as Disney executives are gathering weekly on how to bring back Cara Dune and Gina into the Star Wars universe, it's noted that right now one of the new developments involving the return of Gina Carano as Cara Dune involves the Disney executives planning to give her a big-time cameo or appearance in the planned 2nd season of Ahsoka Tano that is being put together right now by Favreau and Filoni. Now, both John and Dave were the ones to suggest an additional return of Gina to make big cameo, of course, scenes in the 2nd season of Ahsoka, which is, of course, something that they are projecting to release sometime by 2025. Now, where it stands right now is that Bob Iger has agreed to move ahead with the plan, well as other executives. However, the additional executives that are loyal to Kathleen Kennedy are fighting against this plan in particular, but they are not gaining any upper hand on that, of course, in the decision-making process, which is a good sign. Now, aside from this plan for Gina's return in Ahsoka Season 2, it's noted to be more that just, of course, of being a brief cameo, but rather a glorified cameo to make her a big focus for one of the chapters in the shows, much like how Luke was used in the Book of Boba Fett. Now, let me pause here quickly for a second. Now, we already know that they are gathering to bring Gina Carano back in Rangers of the New Republic, the revised version of that show, as well as the Mandalorian Season 4, so now they want her back in Ahsoka Season 2. So this is a very big deal, because that would actually mark it up to 3 whole TV shows to bring Gina Carano back in Star Wars. Now, obviously, it's still a far ways out. 2025 is not like it's just around the corner or anything. It could very well be the end of that year, the tail end of 2025 for all we know, or it could be the middle to the beginning of 2025 for Ahsoka Season 2. But let's be real. Realistically speaking, it's probably going to be the very, last quarter of that year. Because given that Ahsoka Season 1 is not going to be arriving until fall of this year, as Rosario Dawson said, they are looking to release this by the fall now, and filming wouldn't even begin for 2nd season of Ahsoka until sometime in the summer to the end of 2024. So that would land you around, yes, the end of 2025. So, given that there is a lot of storyboarding, being developed by John and Dave about Gina's involvement in the 2nd season of Ahsoka, which, by the way, is being treated as a live-action adaptation of Star Wars Rebels, which I think is going to give the Ahsoka show a lot more value, because let's face it, we already know that Disney's plan right now is to make Ahsoka the new flagship series over The Mandalorian. They realize that a lot of fans, as much as they love The Mandalorian, a lot more fans enjoy the mythology of the Jedi, the dark side, the light, the Force, the cosmic Force, stuff like that. Everything that you love in the prequels and in the originals and even in Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars, stuff like that, is going to be the main focus in Star Wars Ahsoka. So, anyways, moving on to the next big thing here, this is where things begin to progress even further, is that John and Dave have already started to storyboard her involvement in the second season, where Cara Dune is fighting alongside Bo-Katan and Ahsoka Tano on a battlefield against Thrawn's forces to take control of a certain segment in the Outer Rim region. In this particular moment, Bo-Katan is not wearing a helmet, with the armorer is by her side. Ahsoka is all about to actually build up Thrawn's power, of course, that will be told progressively to fans and eventually transition into the Mandalorian series as planned. Now, Gina has been informed about these actual shows already, and for this show specifically, and that the executives will make a final decision by this June about her involvement in Ahsoka Season 2, which will also be officially announced at D23 later this year, right around when Ahsoka, of course, begins to drop on Disney Plus finally. So, here's the other thing about this, is that we already know that Jon Favreau is trying his absolute best to really turn things around for Star Wars. We know that he really was trying to meet a deadline for Mando Season 3. He was in a rush to get that actual season done on time, and he wanted to actually, believe it or not, shoot an extra 6 months worth of footage for Mando Season 3, but Disney cut him off on that. Is that to blame why some chapters, a lot of fans have different opinions on them, both negative and positive? Who knows, right? But the latest episode, Chapter 21, I think was far better than any of the other chapters that we got in Mando Season 3, so good thing on Favreau and Filoni there. I think it's only going to go up at this point in time. So anyways, I think it's great the fact that they are chasing Ahsoka Season 2 to highlight Gina Carano's appearance as Cara Dune again, and to really kind of just give the fans what they have wanted to see for the longest time in years now. The fact that they just really want to give fans something very special and something, you know, so intact with the Star Wars lore. We already know that Ahsoka is going to have a lot of Legends characters and surprise cameos in there, both Legends and Legacy characters as well, so be prepared for that. But overall, guys, you know, fill me in, you know, what you guys have to say about this entire scenario involving Gina Carano, Cara Dune, the second season of Ahsoka, and how Disney wants to make Ahsoka the new flagship series. I still believe that Mando should remain as is, but that's their plan right now. So anyways, guys, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.